1, 2, 3, go.
I guess I'm audible. If I'm not audible, just make sure that you do let me know in the comment section, and uh, I'll make sure that this video is very quick. And please make sure that you stay ahead to the end because we are going to have a lot of fun and learn a lot of things. So let's begin. So obviously, first thing first, make sure that you follow us on all of our social media handles. Right now, there are a couple of companies that are hiring, which is Flipkart and Schneider Electric for 2024 batch. So we always post all of these hiring updates on our social media handles. So make sure that you follow all of them because sometimes some drives are exclusive. So just to give you a context, here as you can see, PrepInsta 2024. So this is one of the Instagram handles for 2024 batch. And again, so for example, 2023 batch had their own Instagram channel. So let's say for example, here and we posted about Flipkart hiring, Schneider hiring, and multiple other Google hiring, and so on. So make sure that you follow us on all the social media handles. I guess the link are in the description below. And again, make sure that you also follow me. I also post a good amount of things, right? So let's just move ahead. And again, we'll talk about PrepInsta Prime a little later at the very end. Okay. So first of all of you need to understand before understanding how and what to prepare, you first need to understand how the placement process is going to be, right? So I'll first talk about these service-based companies and then I'll talk about product-based companies. So herein, I'm taking the example of the service-based company. So obviously, first of all, there's a registration. Then in some of the companies, not all. So, for example, in TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant, there will not be any resume shortlisting. If you register, you definitely would be able to give online test. However, there are some companies like Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, ZS, and so on. These guys would do your resume shortlisting even in on-campus and off-campus rounds. So, generally, typically these companies are 6 to 10 LPA, and approximately 50% of the people will get rejected basis per resume shortlisting in these 6 to 10 LPA companies, right? Then obviously there would be an online test. Now, typically for any service-based company, the online test would be approximately 3 hours long, 2 to 3 hours long. And again, you can't cheat because they know they are all doing your face tracking, your tab switching. Basically, it's impossible. If you're cheating, you'll basically get rejected, right? Just know this. So again, the test would contain of aptitude, coding, and programming MCQ, which would be based on C and C++ only. So even if you're a Java developer or Python developer, you need to make sure that you are studying C and C++ because all of these companies would have their programming MCQ in the online test on C and C++. Then again, for some companies in service based, there would be an additional advanced coding round. So advanced coding round would be based out of DSN competitive coding, but typically only for TCS, Digital, Infosys, SP, DSP, Wipro, Star, Cognizant. So these service-based companies, but the roles for which they offer higher package. So if I show this to you, so for example, again, TCS Ninja, which is 3.6 LPA, so basic, but for digital and innovator, you will have additional coding round. Again, for Infosys, which is SP and DSE, sorry, my bad, I wrote SE both places, but again, SE and DSE, again, additional coding round. For Wipro Star and Power Programmer, additional coding round. For Gen Z Elevate Pro next, additional coding round. We'll come back to this a little later because I want to keep this video a little short. So again, the top 20 performers in the online test, right, will only and only go for the interviews, and there will be a technical interview 35 to 40 minutes, and then there would be an HR interview approximately 10 minutes, and selection, rejection, and then offer rollout. Now, out of the people out, only the top 30% of the people who have attended the interviews would get selected. So again, so let's say 100 people gave the test, so 20 of them would give the interview, and out of 20, six of them would get selected because the 30% of 20 is six, right? So this is typically for a service-based company. Now, for product-based company, it's a little different. So again, registration, resume shortlisting would be there for all product-based companies. There would be a lot of people who will not be able who will not be even able to give the online test because you were shortlisted based upon your resume. And again, online tests would be there, aptitude, coding, programming, MCQ based on C, C++. Again, I've just mentioned this because obviously product-based companies and TCS, Digital, SP, DSE, Star, Cognizant is kind of similar. But again, for all of these product-based companies, there would be an additional online test. Here, right? Then there would be technical interview 2, which would be 1.5 hours. And then there would be a managerial interview, which will also be technical, but 50% of that would more or less, they'll just talk about projects. In this third technical interview, which is called as managerial interview, there would be some behavioral questions, and then HR interview, which would be 20 minutes. So again, typically what happens is, let's say 200 people applied, only 100 of them would be able to give the online test because the rest 100 would get kicked off in the resume shortlisting. Out of those 100, 10 would get selected for the interview, right? Because top 10%. And out of those 10, top 10%, which is one, would get into a product based company. So that's overall. So, for example, Goldman Sachs, if I give you an example of approximately 2.5 lakh people give Goldman Sachs exam every year and they select 200 people. So again, same thing for Amazon. 3 lakh people give Amazon test every year and they select 600 people, right? So it's basically very, very less. So again, so this is basically this. So let's talk about what to prepare. I hope my slide for you should be visible. If it's not, then let me just go to here. Okay. Anyways, I hope it's visible to you. If not, then you can change it into landscape mode of it. Just give me a second, right? So again, the first thing that you need to prepare for is aptitude. In aptitude, quants, logical, verbal, data interpretation, visual reasoning, and game-based aptitude. Now, how do you prepare for it? Simple. If you go to PrepInsta.com, you go to all prepare and all platforms. Here, if you go to aptitude and then if you click upon any of those, you'll land up on this particular page. It'll have everything that you need to do. For example, speed and work, right? You can practice questions, practice formulas. You can check how to solve quickly and tricks for shortcuts. So no need to buy a book, R.S. Agarwal and so on. It is much better. I'll tell you why also. So here, for example, if you go to speed, time, and distance formulas, you'll get all the formulas and then multiple videos also here. Again, so let's say if you look at these questions, you'll also get to know a lot of your performance as well. So for example, if you click upon this start button and if you play upon it, so you'll be able to see your performance graph based upon other students. So with a book, you're not able to benchmark your performance with other students who've given this test. So here you can check how many people chose which option, how many people chose which option. On average, how I've not logged in, so which is why my graph is not coming. So you can check how many people solve faster than me, slower than me, what's the average, and so on, so on. So typically a little much better than a book. One more thing. So for example, that you definitely want to do. So again, you can go ahead and learn rather than that, logical, verbal, data interpretation, psychometric. One thing that you could also do is, so for example, if you have PrepInsta Prime subscription and or if you want to take PrepInsta Prime subscription, which is like 200 plus courses under one subscription. So in that case, again, we have quants, logical, verbal, data interpretation, visual reasoning, essay writing, game-based aptitude courses here. So if I go to our quant course, let's say if I pick up any particular topic, for example, pipes and cisterns, right? Just to show you what basically, if you don't have PrepInsta Prime subscription, how would the subscription be? So I'll just mute this video. And as you can see, good amount of animations. You can see things appearing. So for example, let's say if I play this in 2x, you'll be able to understand it better. All right. So perfect. So this is again, if you have PrepInsta Prime subscription or planning to take PrepInsta Prime subscription, right? The second thing here is previous year papers, very, very important in all the companies. And this is something that a lot of people realize after placements have ended, that 80% of the questions in any given company repeat from previous year papers. So make sure that you practice previous year papers. So for example, let's say if you go to prepinsta.com, again, you go to all platforms here. Let's say if you want to practice previous year papers of TCS, you can click here. You'll land up on this particular page. Where you'll find the whole pattern, what number of questions, what is the pattern. So let's say if you click, if you want to practice quants, verbal, logical, and so on, you'll also get questions here. But apart from that, let's say if you wanted to practice probability, you'll click here on probability. There's a free material, paid material. You click upon the free one, and then again the same thing. So you can practice previous year questions that have appeared in TCS. One more thing is just beware out there. We are actually putting actual previous year papers, but I, it's not right to say, but most of the other websites have just put random questions from RS Agarwal, from some random different websites which are not previous year papers. They just done it because some intern made it. So with PrepInsta, all the questions that are there on the website, people say, why are you not adding another dashboard for XYZ company? And we say we can, but we don't have actual previous year questions, so we've not made the dashboard. So we've chosen not to do it. So again, this is very important. Again, resume shortlisting. So mostly next week, I'll also take up another session regarding how do you take up resume and practice a lot of mocks here. Because a lot of times you'll be able to solve the question when you're doing exam, when you're preparing at home, but the exam pressure, again, you always want to solve mocks. So with the case of technical knowledge, you need to study C++ mandatorily. Because why? The interviewer, for the online test, all the questions would be based upon theoretical and MCQ, and input output questions would be based upon C and C++ only, not Java or Python. Second thing is, interviewer would surely be asking you C and C++ in the interview concepts. Then you can pick up Java or Python, any one of it, right? So don't be blinded that no, I'm a Python developer, I will not study C and C++. It's wrong. No, please trust me. I have some knowledge, and I'm telling you for your own benefit, right? So C, C++, both Java or Python, any one of them. Then second thing is, for the online test as well, and for this is basically what I'm telling for service-based companies only. So I'll tell you extra for product-based companies in the next slide. So again, for service-based companies, the online test questions that are going to come in coding. Second thing is the interview questions, also the basic ones. Guaranteed 100% would come from PrepInsta Top 100, and the PrepInsta Top 100 is like Bible for coding. So again, go to prepare and programming. You go to top 100 codes here. You land up on this particular page. So the difficulty level starts from easy and then goes on and increases as you scroll down. So if you open up any particular page, so for example, let's say I open, for example, prime numbers, right? So where is it? Yeah. For example, if I open prime numbers here, so you land up on this page, you'll find 6 different methods to solve it. So for example, this is the first method, then method 2 by break condition, method 3 by n/2 operation. So here we are also talking about the optimization is better, because optimization by underscore n, which is again lesser time complexity in method 4, then method 5 by even skipping half of the iterations in root n time, and then basic recursion techniques and so on. So this is like pretty amazing. Trust me, you'll eventually, PrepInsta Prime is Bible for preparation of service-based company, like ever. Okay. So again, DSA, but DSA, not everything for service-based company. So on PrepInsta Prime, at least, we have created a course specifically for service-based company. So ideally, you should be preparing that, because DSA is humongous. Somebody wants to study DSA completely, it'll take him or her 3 months. But for a service-based company, you don't need the 3 months wala DSA. You need a shorter DSA, lesser DSA. So DSA this. Then apart from that, again, same thing you can do. You can go to prepare programming, and then from here learn data structures. So let's say if I click upon this, um, right. So again, the whole data structures is basically here. The best part is, for example, if I open any particular page, for example, bubble sort, right? So bubble sort, you can scroll down, you'll see all of the bubble sort, how it works, the code in different formats. This is also important because these would be asked as MCQ. So in bubble sort, pass 2, iteration 3, how would the array look like? right? So you need to make note that apart from the code, you can do it manually as well. So again, the different methods. Obviously, these questions, pros and cons, are asked as MCQs as well, and then time complexity as MCQs, and then obviously. So, for example, if I open up, just give me a second. Let's say if I open up this thing again, so from programming, if I go to data structures on any given particular page, you'll also find what are the questions asked in previous year papers or different company based on this format. So for example, here, this question was asked in AMCAT, this question was asked in TCS NQT of linear search, this question again was asked in TCS NQT of linear search. So at the very end of the page, you'll find this. Apart from that, obviously, uh, you would also find a meme review section, which is like pretty great. So after at the end of each and every section, there are memes with which you can also learn. So this is like pretty amazing as well. Then apart from that, again, if you have PrepInsta Prime subscription, just to show you things very quickly. So let's say if I open up data structures in C++, so you'll find, let's say for trees, introduction part one. So just playing it out for you. It'll take hardly a minute. My internet is a little slow because I'm live and also I'm playing a video real time. So again, you can understand by this. Uh, so this is PrepInsta Prime again, pre-order in order and all of that. So these kind of things as well in PrepInsta Prime. Right. So moving ahead, certifications is a must. And one thing, your Udemy and your AICTE certifications are not valid because these particular things, these particular people are actually engineers, and these guys know that these AICTE and Udemy and NEPTEL certifications basically have theoretical concept. They don't have projects. You have not learned the industry level thing. So get certifications from a reputed organization like Simply Learn, Upgrad, PrepInsta, Scalar, and so on, right? So these would be must. Second thing is project is must 100%. Don't wait for your final year project, which would be in your last semester, because 90% of the people get rejected in the interview because they say they have projects. So for example, let's say I'm interviewing you right now. I'm looking at your resume. I'll be like, okay, you've done this hand recognition project. Can I see it? And then you'll say, sir, I don't have it on my system right now. My other system has it. It got formatted, or it was a group project. My friend has it. No, sir, I can't show it to you. So ideally, you would get rejected straight. One more thing that particularly I would want to show it to you. So, for example, just mm, ideally, your projects should also be in your resume when you click upon it. So, for example, if you see here, this particular person has given bit.ly link of GitHub and a YouTube video also, so they can see the projects, right? So ideally, this helps also not getting rejected in the resume shortlisting. Because, for example, let's say if I look at some resume, which basically, if you just give me a second, yeah. So if I kind of look at a resume, which basically looks like this, it's not opening. So again, you can see from here, right? It's a boring looking resume open with, let's say, open preview here. Okay. So if I look at a resume which looks like this, mostly I'm basically going to reject this person. However, if I look at a resume which looks like this, has GitHub link, has project links, has CodeChef profile, have just not projects, the Netlify link of all of those projects, mostly I'm going to shortlist them in resume shortlisting for the next round. But again, some more example of bad resumes would be something like this, right? So very bad resume. One more example of a very bad resume would be something like this. Uh, very, 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 very bad resume, like ends nothing. And first of all, don't mention Microsoft Office and Corel Draw in your skills. You'll get kicked off. They are looking at programming skills, right? So don't mention all of those. So again, pick up one skill, any with certification and demoable project. So these are the skills that I'm suggesting data science, data analytics, ML, AI, full stack, ethical hacking, AWS, cybersecurity, Power BI, Tableau, full stack web development, ethical hacking, cloud. Right. So if you are already PrepInsta Prime subscribers, so in that case, for example, let me just quickly show it to you. So you'll be able to find all of these. So here in the PrepInsta Prime subscription, and again for full stack courses here in the PrepInsta Prime subscription for all of it. So for example, let's say very quickly, if I open it up, any particular uh, uh, let's say artificial intelligence and machine learning course. So again, reinforcement learning, multi-arm bandit problem, just to show you how it would look like. So basically, the course kind of looks like this. Right. So basically, we want to train a robot who can walk on its own, make decision on its own. Then we talk about that, for example, what do you know about a robot? What are the parameters that we are going to be using in this particular video? So for example, we know about its weight, its height, its gravity, its acceleration. I'll show it to you here. So for example, here. So these are the parameters that we know about. And then there's mathematics and algorithm involved. We talk about the algorithm in the next video here, and in the next video we finally just go ahead and code it. So any particular course in PrepInsta goes on like this. So just play. Right. So here, and again with the final project. So for example, your project should be like this. So for example, in this video, I've clicked upon one of the projects that we've made, and immediately I open up and wear a mask. It's showing that I'm wearing a mask. If I remove the mask, it will show that I'm not wearing a mask, right? So pretty like your project should be like this, demoable project. So very important. Then again, DBMS and SQL, even if you're a non-CSIT person or a CSIT person, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Cognizant, or Facebook, Amazon, whichever company would not care about, okay, you're a non-CSIT student, you don't know coding, that's fine. They don't care about it. They want to hire the best person out there. So you need to learn what all CSIT people know. So DBMS and SQL is a must, Apart from just like Python programming language, DSA, and so on, it's a must. And then OS, CN, and SDLC, computer networks, you can skip completely because only hardware company like Intel, Qualcomm, Arista Networks, your Cisco, only these companies would ask computer networks. Your Amazon would not ask computer networks. TCS would not ask computer networks. Infosys, Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, etc. All of these companies are software development companies, so they don't ask computer networks. So then again, GD, HR, puzzles, guess estimates, case study. So this is very important. Why? Because when you go here in your HR interview here first, and in product-based companies also, HR interview and managerial interview, these all would be asked your GD questions, HR question, puzzles. These people like puzzles a lot. So for example, you are given 10 coins, one of them is fake, in minimum number of comparing on weights, how would you found which is the minimum, which is the fake coin, which has different weight. So, problems like this. Guess estimates and case study is very important if you are applying for a consultancy company or big four. So for example, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, ZS Associates, Mu Sigma, Honest and Young, a math company, and so on. So all the companies which work with a lot of data, they will ask you guess estimates. So for example, guess estimates could be that how many people go to Delhi airport every day. So now you need to come up, you don't know the number, but you need to come up with the right number. So you'll say Indigo uses Airbus 360 Neo, which has 300 people in it. Every 5 minutes, a plane takes off. So 24 hours divided by 5 minutes and then multiplied by number of people. Then you'll also add people coming to pick up all of these people. So things like that. So very important here as well. So this is for my bad. I've written service-based companies. I'll very quickly change this. This is actually not service-based. This is product-based. So what all this look to you as just 5 extra things, but it'll take you 3x amount of time. So for example, DSA advanced. So ideally the DSA for service-based companies is something that you can complete in 21 days at max, right? However, DSA advanced for product-based companies, just DSA every day, if you give 7-8 hours, then also it'll take 3 months, minimum 3 months every day. like this. So here, 21 days, if you give 6 to 7 hours every day, DSA for service-based companies, this is like different thing. I'll show you a different course for service-based companies on PrepInsta Prime, right? So this is one thing. Again, competitive coding would additionally take you 1.5 months, right? So if you are giving again 5 to 6 hours every day, I'm assuming. But if you're able to give more time, then obviously you'll like be doing it lesser amount of time. Then again, advanced projects. Why? Because if you look at your service-based company interview, the technical interview was for 30 to 45 minutes, right? Here, your total duration is 1 hour, 1.5 hours in the second interview, 45 minutes of third interview. So you have 2.5 hours and basically three hours and 15 minutes is your technical interview in total, right? So basically, what all would you be talking about, right? You'll talk about your projects. They'll basically remove 5, 6 lines from your projects and would say that, okay, now code these lines back again. They'll say this is bad project. What is blood donation system? What is library management system? These are bad projects. Go, right? So it should be good projects. Ideally, so for example, let's say if I show you projects in our data science course, if you go to check syllabus, so we have we have created amazing number of projects. So here you can see the screenshots of the projects that we have here as well, the screenshots of the courses and so on. And here, if we talk about projects, again, these are the projects. So for example, I am Twitter sentiment analysis, Wikipedia data scraping, hacking prep and stuff, Flipkart price alert optimization, credit score analysis, Netflix movie recommendation algorithm, big basket card prediction, breast cancer, nuclear power plant. So there are approximately 40 different projects that you can do. And apart from that, for people who are also looking to do their final year projects from PrepInsta projects as well. So there's if you scroll down, then there's a dedicated section of projects which are major big projects, which will fetch you the final year project again. It'll take you like 2 months to do one of these projects here. These are big projects again. Uh, so again, longer interviews, more difficult questions. So for example, obviously in product-based companies, they will not start from Prep and Start top 100 codes, but they'll directly start from TSA. In service-based companies, they'll start from, for example, C++, polymorphism encapsulation, dangling pointer, null pointer, and so on. Then they'll come to SQL, DBMS. So for example, write a query to find the second highest salary. Then you'll write it. Then they'll say, optimize the SQL. Then they'll say, optimize it further. Now find the third highest salary. And then inner join, outer join, JRoot ratio, and so on. So, and then they will start with Prep and Start top 100 codes, then basic and intermediate coding, then they will start with DSA, right? So this is like service-based company interview typically. However, your product-based company interview would directly start from SQL, like 15-20 minutes, and then directly they would go ahead to DSA advanced. So they will skip C++, Java, Python, easy questions completely. They will skip top 100 codes completely. They will skip basic intermediate codes completely. And then directly start from advanced DSA like graphs, trees, different algorithms like in competitive coding, Kruskal, Sprim, so on. Right. But that does not mean if you're preparing for product-based company, still you need to do all of these because again, if you don't know PrepInsta top 100 codes, you can't directly go ahead and learn DSA. You'll never understand DSA properly. If you don't do basic and intermediate coding, how can you do competitive coding at all? So for people who don't know, there's a basic and intermediate coding as well, and then comes competitive coding, and in between there's DSA as well. So these are the 5 extra things that you need to do. Now, one more thing is, this is something that I want to show you. So this is the TCS interview file that they give it to their interviewer to rate you out. So if you look at this, for example, let me zoom in. So here they're basically saying that, okay, are you recommended for digital ninja? None. What is your rating scale out of 5? And then they basically give you marks. So for example, 5 marks for project work programming skills, 5 marks for coding techniques and optimization techniques and DSA and competitive coding. Why? Because again, they are also recommending you for digital. So TCS would try asking a competitive coding questions because digital is a higher package. Then additional competency, knowledge of databases, knowledge of SDLC, knowledge of system design, and then 5 marks. However, these three things together are 15 marks, but digital skills just all together are 20 marks. So, for example, knowledge of one digital skill mandatory, basic knowledge, real world application, possible demo of working project, very important, possible code review as well. So, this is 20 marks. Then certification again 10 marks, knowledge about domain, real world application, check if learned something or not, possible demo again they've mentioned of working project, possible code review also they've mentioned that you've done a certification, right? Show me the project that you did in that certification. So again, digital skills, you should be you should have done a digital skill like AI, ML, cloud, AWS, full stack web development, Mon stack, data science, Power BI, Tableau, IoT, and so on. So one of these digital skills. Then you have communication, which is 10 marks, fluency, articulation, listening skills as well. Then you have behavioral competency question, which is again stress management, confidence, culture fit, ambition, then space for additional comments. We'll post this on our Instagram. So if you want this file, so probably after this live, we'll post this up as a story on our PrepInsta 2024 and my bad, PrepInsta 2023 as well. And I also posted on my personal account. So whichever page that you're following, right? So basically this, right? Let's move ahead. Now, this is something that I've already mentioned very quickly. So, as I had mentioned here, in your service-based companies, 6 to 10 LPA companies would be doing resume shortlisting. So, they look at your resume and would just basically kick off 50% of the people. In your product-based companies, all the companies would do resume shortlisting. They'll even not allow you. So, a lot of times you may have seen, sir, I found a link to apply for Microsoft internship and I found a link to apply for Flipkart internship or full-time role. And I applied on it. It was actually their own website, but I didn't get an online test link for them, or I didn't get an interview link from them, right? So what about it? So in this case, the reason that you did not, because they don't communicate with people that they've not shortlisted based upon resume shortlisting at all. So this is very, very important. If your resume looks like something on the right, you will get rejected. Your resume should look like something on the left, which is your link to CodeChef, LeetCode, PrepInsta, GitHub, and so on. Your link to your projects of Netlify, of GitHub, of a YouTube video. If it's a hardware project and you want to show the demo, let's say if you have a full stack project, then upload the website. They would want to see the website, right? So, which is why resume shortlisting, and again, resume is also very, very important for the interviews as well. Very important. Then again, or partner companies also. So, for example, if you take PrepInsta Prime subscription, I would have to open it up in incognito because I'm already logged in. So let's go. So with our placement partners also, this is very, very important. So if you have taken PrepInsta Prime subscription, and I'll click on this. Okay, let's wait. Just give me a second. So we are downloading our placement report just to show you. So for example, with our partners as well, hiring partners, we have more than 400 plus hiring partners. They also ask for your projects as well and do resume shortlisting. So again, total 7 lakh people had PrepInsta Prime subscription. This was the average package and the highest salary. This was the placement rate, and people with more than 10 LPA. This was again, we were covered in news. So, for example, we were covered in The Hindu, which recorded our highest ever monthly placement in November 2022, and Z Business and so on. So, this is our completely transparent. How many people got placed in TCS Digital till date? How many people got placed in Adobe? How many people got placed in Microsoft? And we put star, star, star. So, it's not something to fool you. The star means Amazon offers multiple profiles. So, for AWS team, they offer 10 to 20 LPA. For their Amazon.com team, they offer 47 LPA. So this is like not, this is just to mention that, okay, Amazon has different packages. It's not like terms and condition apply. So again, for service-based companies also, we mentioned our partner companies and student reviews and so on, right? So again, very, very important, your if you're PrepInsta Prime subscribers and you're looking for us to refer you in all of these companies, we would only do that once you have completed 6 to 7 courses on PrepInsta Prime, and uh, uh, and post that there's you have completed the major project, and we look at your resume and then refer you to all of these companies. On average, our PrepInsta Prime subscribers get 2.6 or 2.3 back offers. So, for example, 2.3 offers here, as you can see. So pretty amazing. One more thing is, so these are, again, I want to talk about service-based companies as well. So top service-based company, Wipro did not conduct its hiring last year at all. So Wipro did not hire even a single 2023 batch student. They skipped their hiring because they overhired in 2022. Because of recession, approximately 60% hiring would be lesser. So for example, TCS, which hired 1 lakh people in 2021. So basically 2022 batch, they hired 1 lakh. 2023 batch, they hired only 44,000. And 2024 batch, they've announced that they will hire even lesser, which is 40,000. It is covered in news, so you can look at it. Wipro did not hire at all last year, and this year also, it is a high possibility that they will skip campus hiring this year completely. Okay. And again, so this is not TCS, this is Cognizant. So these are packages. You can take a screenshot of these. So I wanted to tell you that even in service-based companies, there are higher packages based upon your roles that they're offering. So, for example, with TCS Ninja, approximately 80% of the people will get Ninja role, 15% of the people will get digital role, and approximately 5% of the people will get innovator role. So, so that's the approximate number that I'm telling you. It's also very similar for Infosys, Wipro, TCS, Cognizant. There's one more thing. So this is Cognizant Gen C or Cognizant. So this is basically, they mentioned that if you are skilled in these skills, and in your interview we are able to see all of these, so then we are more likely. So this was their official PDF. Once they will come to your campus, they'll share this PDF with you, and I'm sharing a little earlier so that you can have a look upon and probably do some certifications and skills in the right thing. So these are the roles that they have, that okay, if you get selected as an AI ML guy as a fresher, obviously they'll be asking you C, C++, Java, Python, DSA, SQL, DBMS. But in the certification part and in the project part and in the digital skill part, if you have any of these, so then you are more likely to get the advanced 6.7, that is Gen C next role. They have this something called as Cognizant Orbit Shifter program also. That, let's say if you join Cognizant at 4 LPA, but after 1 year internally they will have another exam wherein you can join you wherein you can increase your package to all of these. But then also you'll have to give an interview which will still consist of C++, Java, Python, DSA, SQL, DBMS, uh, SDLC. And then also they would want you to be certified and skilled with projects that you can demo in the skills that you see here, right? So that's pretty much about it. One more thing is, again, I'll take up all the questions. So if you have questions now, I'm looking at those. So I'll answer all of these questions individually. But let me mark it because we are a company and we have to get revenue, right? So again, PrepInsta Prime subscription, one subscription for all your needs. You get 200 plus courses under one subscription, complete thing. So it's almost stupid, right? If you buy some XYZ course from XYZ website, so let's say DSA, for just one course, but now you need to learn aptitude also. Now you need to learn data science also, ML also, cloud also, or for example, DBMS, SQL, computer networks, SDLC. Um, would you buy like, and then probably HR interview puzzles, then previous year papers of these companies? Doesn't make sense. One subscription, just like Netflix, for all your placement need and upskilling need. These are the prices. You can use the coupon code YouTube, which I think would be only valid till Monday. And again, we are offering 10% discount on 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. So you can take a screenshot of this if you want, particularly. And these are the screenshots of the courses that you can see here. Again, more screenshots, again, more screenshots and more screenshots, right? So let's talk about questions. Uh, so basically, Manjunath Hegde is saying, I am PrepInsta Prime subscribers. When will companies start hiring from PrepInsta? Very good question. So typically, Manjunath, have you completed all the 7, 8 mandatory courses that are there, which is, I guess, DSA, C++, SQL, and one skill and few more, right? So once you do that, first, all the companies would complete their on-campus hiring. So on-campus hiring starts from July and ends in October, and then they start their off-campus hiring via partners like PrepInsta, Scalar, Upgrad, Simply Learn, and so on. So typically, October, basically they'll start hiring you. There are approximately 7, 8 referrals we give to all of these companies, given that you have basically completed all of these courses. Placement rate is 96%. I think let's go back to the slide that we had. So somewhere here mentioned, yeah, placement rate is 95.6%. 4% of the people we are unable to get placed. Most of the reasons in this case is some of the people can't speak English at all, and that's the primary reason. So we are basically focusing on that as well. So what about Tech Mahindra? So Tech Mahindra would be hiring this year in decent numbers. Why? Because 5G is being launched, and Tech Mahindra primarily works in communications department. So one more thing is make sure that you research upon it. Infosys is the largest SAP and Salesforce developer. So if you have a Salesforce or SAP certification, then Infosys is more likely to hire you because approximately 40% of the projects in Infosys are Salesforce and SAP. Uh, Same Tech Mahindra is more likely to hire an EC person with coding skills. Why? Because most of the projects that they have are from these networking companies and like Cisco, Geo, Airtel, Vodafone, and all. What type of projects are required in placements of 25 batch? Yeah, projects basically something. If you have PrepInsta Prime subscription, you complete any of these popular skill courses or the full stack courses. All of these things have amazing projects. So, these kind of projects. Or, for example, some good highlights of the projects is also something that you can look here on PrepInsta Prime, right? So, one project that I was particularly showing to you is, I guess, in the MLAI course. So I was just showing that, right? So this is one example of a very good project that the interviewer would, yeah, matlab guarantee interview ko you will impress him like crazy. Imagine that being in the interview, like remotely or physically, and then you're like, sir, let me click upon run button, and you wear a mask, and then it shows that you're wearing a mask, and you remove a mask, and it shows that you're not wearing a mask. So interview would be flipping out, and like these kind of projects, right? Not boring projects that Spotify or blood donation system, library management system, and so on. Not those. Yeah, data analytics is amazing, right? My own younger brother, he works as a data scientist or data analyst in this company called as KPMG. He's also created a Power BI course. So I'm all for data science. I generally suggest people not to go ahead with full stack web development using MERN, but rather go ahead with AI, ML, data analytics, or data science, because full stack would take you a lot of time. It's humongously big. However, data science course is shorter. It's like 30% of what a full stack course is, and it has better projects also. So yeah. Mohammed Maqsood Pasha, yeah, again, can you just message me? So on my Instagram, I'll help you, right? I hope there's some issue there, right? So that could also be a little different for you. Okay. Planning to purchase PrepInsta Prime once third year starts. Yeah, again, thank you, Pranesh. Uh, Sir, अभी 23 बैच के लिए कंपनीज आएंगी क्या? I'll just play the trailer in the meanwhile. All right, so you can see what PrepInsta courses look like in the meantime. Um, yeah, 2023 batches ke liye, we know there's a big company coming. I can't announce the date of the company and name of the company also. Yeah, so companies are going to hire, but again, 2023 batch, approximately 70% of the people, Shayu, as you know, right, are unplaced. Why? Because of recession. Last year, the same number was 10%. So in 2022, only 10% of the people were unplaced. But again, now 70% of the people are unplaced. Why? Because companies reduced their hiring by 70% last year. Now it's also still this year is approximately 60% less hiring, but a little better than last year. But again, competition is high. So if you're PrepInsta Prime subscriber, yeah, for 23 batches off campus is going on, right? And companies are hiring with a referral. So ask us for referrals. Okay. And I completed my college in BSc IT. How I'm able to get placement in 3 months? Yeah, I would suggest you to do MSc. Uh, Ideally, because very less number of companies hire for BCA and BSc roles. They would hire MSc or MCA more. So, for example, TCS does not even allow BSc in Ninja hiring, but they have a TCS Smart hiring, which is a 2.8 LPA package. Wipro has the Wipro WILP, Work Integrated Learning Program, which is again 2.5 LPA package. So in that case, you work for the company, but they also pay for your MTech from Bits Pilani. So, but lesser number of hirings are there. I am PrepInsta Prime subscribers. I have all the courses in my hand. I do not know which course to learn, what to do next. Okay, yeah, it's fairly simple, right? So we have made tracks. Uh, Call up our experience manager. Call our experience manager. He will take like a 30 minutes call for you, and every Friday, we do a mentorship session wherein we guide you. So call your experience manager, and he'll help you with your learning path. And every Friday, join the mentorship session that we have. Else, if you don't want to do it, pick up a track for service-based company, track for product-based company, track for fan companies, right? Um, I am not logged in here, so which is why you'll not be able to see, but I could probably show you how the tracks would look. So not here. So where is this? Prep and stuff. Fine. So anyways, I'll open this. So this is my Figma file of the new design, wherein I'll show you. Basically, this track will tell you what all courses you have to learn and in which order. So I'll show you the UI because I have to log in and then you'll be able to see my password. So when you log in into this track, uh, it'll more or less look something like this. Right. Wait. So it'll look like which all course you have complete. So for example, this is track for service-based company. So it'll tell you C, Java, and then other courses. These are like Python, and then would tell you that okay, core courses that we are recommended for service-based company, how much of this you've completed, skill courses, how much you've completed, optional courses, how much you've completed. Right. So that. My competitive coding skills are not good, but I'm quite good with data science analytics. Can I get a 10 LPA offer? Manjunath, no. Well, I'm really sorry to be the bringer of bad news, but typically understand this. So, for example, if I'm a hiring manager or if I want to hire people for my company, there are a couple of things. You may have mugged up full stack web development because eventually it's methods, right? You may have watched a lot of YouTube videos for data science and have just learned it, right? But you may not be a good programmer, but your code would be bad. Your code may be uh, having very bad time complexity. It would run very slow and so on, right? Now, just to make sure that companies don't hire these kind of people who write bad logic, who write code that works slow, so which is why they do data structures and competitive coding necessarily. So I'll give you an example. Amazon pays 47 LPA, and whereas TCS also pays 3.6 LPA. What's the difference? The actual difference is coding and data structures humongously. So let's say if he's writing, let's say if I go to Amazon.com, right?